Today I want to discuss using Logic as a practice enhancement tool. If you're a guitarist and you want to use this DAW environment to your advantage beyond just recording, you can use it for other purposes as well. So this is one example of that. So first and foremost, instead of a click track or in conjunction with a click track, we can throw in drummer. We can practice our licks over top of the drums. That we can do is we can import something to practice. So what I've done in this case is I've imported into the project that we're working on a MIDI file that is some different guitar exercises. So if I double click on the MIDI region, it'll pull up the piano roll, and then I can go to score and I can actually follow along on the tablature and sheet music here, and that will help me to know what it is that I'm playing. So I want to go ahead and focus in on just the first pattern for now. That pattern is going to be visible to us here on the bottom. And so what I've done is I've gone ahead and looped the section that I want to practice. First things first, what I can take note of is that I'm able to change the speed of this individual thing that I'm looking at. So let's listen to it as it is. It's going to give me a sound for playback. Okay, so that's our basic pentatonic scale from A root. I'll pull this tempo down real slow. Let's put it to 50. All right, now that we've determined how slow we want it, let's loop it and let's try and play along. So I can hear myself in real time while I'm playing against the MIDI notes, and that gives me an idea of how accurate I'm being. I also have the option of recording myself. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I just did it once through. Now what we can do is we can actually look at those in relationship to one another, and we can determine by listening how accurate we actually play. I'm slightly out of time from the MIDI. It could be just a feel thing or it could be a latency thing. It's not so far out of time that it sounds, but if I wanted to be more accurate about that, I could go back and really try and nail it exactly where the MIDI notes are. Doing this type of analysis will really help you start to understand the nuances of how you play and where you can improve. Let's try it again. This time, let's speed it up. All right, let's listen to it at 80. That's not too bad. All right, now let's try recording it and then check this new tempo. 3, 4. All right, so now we actually have 2 takes. So we could A-B the takes and listen to them and compare to see which one was better, which one was worse. I noticed the second time around that there was a little string noise. Maybe I hit a little harmonic by accident. Now you can tell where you're making your mistakes. So like, yeah, right around here, you heard a little overtone thing that was happening. That's not a huge deal, and sometimes those little characteristics can make a guitar performance interesting. But for the sake of accuracy, if you didn't want that, now you know that that happened. Now let's listen to take one. Here, I just swapped it over to take one. Again, like a little bit of swinging stuff happening in there, but nothing that makes the performance feel out of time, more so that it's not super robotic. And this is the difference between a human playing an instrument and a MIDI that's super on the grid. All right, let's go ahead and try speeding it up even more and see how we do. So my speed's okay, but you did notice the first time around that I played it, there was still some kind of harmonic stuff happening. And that's because I wasn't really muting the strings. I was kind of just letting them fly. If you want a really clean sound, you want to also be kind of partially muting your strings. So I wouldn't have, even thought about that if I hadn't been critically listening to my own playing. Let's try it this time with a recording to see if we can notice anything that we can improve. So we got a couple takes in there. Let's take a listen. All right, so in that take, there's a little bit of string noise, but it's not terrible. It's not the worst thing in the world. Let's try the other take. This one feels consistently a little rushed. For the sake of accuracy, if I wanted this to be more accurate, then I could practice it a little bit more on top of the notes. And this comes with just repetition. Just do it, start slow, practice it slow a bunch of times, then go faster, practice it faster, and then keep pushing yourself. So I'm doing a kind of truncated version of what you should be doing. You could potentially slow it down all the way to 20 beats per minute if you wanted to really be able to kind of figure out, what note to go to next. Try a different pattern. And so we can move on like that through all the various scale patterns that we have listed. So another simple thing that you can do is just lay down some chords and then practice over top of those chords.